Welcome. The following video will be a brief tutorial of the California Department of Transportation District 5 SHOPP Projects web app. Here in the middle, you'll find the data source, including the date associated with the data source. Any questions regarding the following data should be directed towards the District 5 GIS Coordinator, Dario Moreno. His contact information can be found here below. The date which this app was last updated can be found here at the bottom and the last updated date. To continue into the web app, simply click the Continue button in the left corner and hit OK. Once you pass the splash screen, you'll find yourself within the web app. Here in the middle, you'll find your map view, and around the edges you'll notice a few windows open. By default, those are set to be there every time you start the web app, but can be closed and brought back fairly simply. Let's go ahead and close the SHOPP project filter. We'll get back to that shortly. And down below, we're going to go ahead and hide our attributes table using this little arrow found at the top. To the right, you'll find your information table, where you'll be provided with a definition list of the common terminology found throughout the web app. Note that down below, you'll still have access to the information found on the splash screen, including your data source, as well as contact information for the District 5 GIS Coordinator, Dario Moreno. The information table can be minimized or closed and brought back at any time utilizing the information widget in the top right corner. You can navigate your map view by simply clicking and dragging to pan around, or by utilizing your scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in or zoom out. Additionally, in the top left corner, you'll find a fixed zoom in button and a fixed zoom out just below. If at any point you'd like to return to your default map extent, you can simply click the home icon just below to return you to your default map extent. If you found that you've clicked that on accident or zoomed in or out and can't find your way back, you can simply utilize the previous extent button to return you to your left, or utilize the next extent to move back. In the top right corner of the web app, you'll find a series of widgets. The second from the left will be your legend widget. This will provide you with a list of features visible in your map view and the symbology associated with each feature. You'll notice that the same color scheme was used for both the current SHOPP project's spot locations and segments. To the right of your legend widget, you'll find your layer list widget. This widget allows you to control which layers are visible within your view. So you can turn off any layer simply by unchecking the box to the left of that layer. As you see, I unchecked the current SHOPP project's spot locations and the points disappeared off of our map view. The same can be done with any of the layers listed here. To the right of our layer list widget, you'll find a download maps and project list widget. Here you'll be able to download maps and project lists by county or by district. Let's take a look at the Monterey County project map. You'll notice in the far right corner that you do have a legend, and in the bottom left corner, you'll have a scale. The map here is going to depict all of the SHOPP projects that fall within Monterey County. As you'll notice, they're all labeled with their SHOPP IDs. And if we'd like to find further information regarding those particular SHOPP IDs, we can reference the SHOPP project list. So if we go back to our web app, we can go to the link just below the SHOPP project map, which will be the SHOPP project list, and click on that. Find that a list has been generated with all of the SHOPP projects visible within that county, and here they are sorted by SHOPP ID. We can find information such as route, beginning and end post mile, project status, and project type. Note that all of the SHOPP projects, which are points, are going to have the same post mile for beginning and ending, and the lines will have a different beginning and ending post mile. As we had in our information tab, you'll see that we also do have access to that definitions list here at the bottom. Let's go ahead and go back to the web app and take a look at some of the other features that it offers us. Let's go ahead and close this map and project list widget and bring our attributes table back into our view. If we look through our attributes table, we can see that all the projects listed in the attributes table across various counties and routes. If we'd like to filter those, we can use this SHOPP project filter, and we can filter by project stage, type, county, or route. Let's go ahead and take a look at a particular county. Once you select that, you'll notice this search bar down here populates, and there's a drop-down menu to select any of the 5 counties within District 5. We can take a look at Monterey specifically. Go ahead and hit apply. And what we're going to notice is that our map view has updated to only show the projects which fall within Monterey County. Additionally, our attributes table has updated to only show the projects which fall within Monterey County. If there's a particular SHOPP project we'd like to look at, we can highlight it by clicking on it, and then click the Zoom to button, and that'll update our map extent to show the area immediately around that SHOPP project. If we click on our project within the map view, a window will pop up showing the same information which is present in our attributes table. And you'll notice that there is a 1 of 2 label up here. And that is because we have another feature just below that spot project. So if we go ahead and click this next feature, it'll show us that we actually have a future project that's listed just below that. And again, it'll give us that information in regards to that particular SHOPP ID. If we happen to already have a list of projects that we'd like to look up, we can utilize the search bar in the top left corner to accomplish the same thing. In the drop-down to the left of the search bar, we'll find a list of predetermined search options to choose from. Note, you may need the EA number or a SHOPP ID number depending on what you're searching for. It's important to note that our attributes table below is broken up into 3 different groups. We'll have a current SHOPP projects spot locations attribute table, current SHOPP projects line segment attributes table, as well as an attributes table for our future SHOPP projects. As you'll see in our current SHOPP projects segment attributes table, there is nothing listed, and that is simply because within our map view, there are no current SHOPP projects that are line segments. Only the spot location, which we'll see here, 2, and in our map view, you'll notice we have 2 spots. And in our future SHOPPs, we have 1, and you'll just see the 1 line feature here. That's in purple, showing that it's a future SHOPP project. And if we'd like to go back to our default map extent, we can show a little example of what will happen to our attributes table. So again, our current SHOPP project segment was completely empty. And you'll notice if we go ahead and click that default extent button there on the left-hand side, we'll zoom back out to our default extent, and that current SHOPP projects segments attribute table has now populated with all of the SHOPP projects that are segments within our map view. Don't forget that once you've turned on a filter, if you go about doing other stuff, that filter is still going to apply even if that window's closed. So you can see here in our attributes table that only SHOPP projects within Monterey County are in our attributes table for all 3 categories. So if we go back up to the filter and hit that reset button, it'll clear out our filter selection, and our map view will update to show SHOPP projects for all counties, and so will our attributes table. You can see here now we have SLO, Santa Cruz, all of the counties within the district. By default, our attribute table will be set to filter by map extent, but if we'd like, we can also change that by simply clicking on that filter by map extent, and it'll make it a fixed attributes table, so it'll show all the attributes at all times. As you can see now, when I zoom in, the table stays static. Whereas if I click that on and go back to zoom in, you'll see that the attribute table updates. That is an option if you'd like to choose that. Lastly, if we'd like to generate a list of SHOPP projects that can be viewed and used outside of this web app, we can simply run a report utilizing the Run Report widget found just below the search bar in the upper left-hand corner of the web app. Once open, we can see that we can run a report based off place name. If we use this drop down just to the left of the search bar, you'll notice that we can do a search by cities or California Regional Transportation Planning Agencies, Congress representatives, a lot of different options to pick from. Let's go ahead and do a search by city. And let's type in San Luis Obispo. See that populated there. And if we go ahead and do that search, you'll notice that our map view updates to show us San Luis Obispo city boundaries. You'll notice below that our attribute table has updated to reflect the change in our map view. Now we can decide to run that report as is, or we can decide to draw or select a layer. And our drawing options here are to either drop a point, we can create a polyline, you can draw a circle or a polygon. For the purposes of this example, let's go ahead and just drop a point. We make sure that's highlighted, and then come over here to our map view and just drop a point roughly in the middle of San Luis Obispo. And we can select the unit of measurement for our buffer. And we're just going to go ahead and stick with miles here and run a 10-mile buffer. Go ahead and click that report button. After the report's done loading, you'll notice here that we have 5 spot locations within our 10-mile buffer, 7 segments, and 2 future shops. So if we'd like, we can go ahead and print that. There's different printing options here. The standard is going to be the tabloid landscape. Let's just take a look at what it generates for us. You'll see that a map got generated that shows the run report parameters that we selected. See that red line representing that 10-mile buffer. Also have a little legend here at the bottom of that map and a scale. Down below, it'll give us a summary table with the count and length. And down below, it'll break it up again into spots, segments, and future, and give you SHOPP IDs for all of those and the attributes associated with each SHOPP ID. If after reviewing our report, we decide that one of the attributes within the field here is unnecessary and we deem that we don't want it to be in the report, we can simply remove it by going back to the web app and clicking on the gears or settings just to the right of each of these sections here and simply unchecking what we would like removed. So if we don't necessarily need to know the district because everything's in District 5, we can simply uncheck district. And we do this to all of the different groups here. And simply hit that print button again. Go ahead and let that map generate. Scroll down, we'll see that our report has been updated to reflect that we no longer want the district included. So if after reviewing our report, we decide that we're happy with it and we'd like to print it, we can go ahead and select that print option in the top right corner. And we'll have the option to print it on paper, or we can utilize the print to PDF option and download a PDF copy of this exact report here. If we go back to our web app, you can see that we can also download this as a CSV. So that's the only option you're going to have there. Hit download, you'll click save file, and hit OK. That's going to conclude the video. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.